Heather has told me that a good masseuse should have hands that are both tender yet powerful, and I can vouch that her hands would be equally at home cradling a winged bird or hammering sheet metal in a yard. Oh, so I get a bit knotted at the start of the month when the direct debits are going out.
Ooh.
That's a sports injury.
Wow, which sport?
I was doing forward rolls at speed.
You mean roly-polies?
It's a standard SAS energy dissipation technique. I'd love to see you call it a roly-poly in front of Andy McNabb. He'd knock you out. Yeah, it was a Rotary Club barbecue at my best friend John Boyd's house. Usual story. Me and some of the guys ran the barbecue, talking about property prices, girls inside making the salad.
Then you started doing your roly-polies.
And I started demonstrating the tuck and roll technique, but John's got quite a small garden because he's not done very well in his career, and I went headlong into the weighted base of a parasol.
Oh, God. One of those metal things?
No, it's a plastic one filled with water. As I say, he's not done very well in his career.
Ouch, sounds painful.
Yeah, well, I dislocated my shoulder, but I just shut my eyes and let my body go into shock. You're listening to a mid-morning massage.
Do me a favour, keep your head down.
I've got to do the eye down. It always reminds me of being born when I put my head through a hole.
Very hard to swallow.
Should place a spittoon down there.
Seriously, though, is there a mug or something?
Yeah, I'll pop mine down. So how are you feeling, Alan?
I'm very good. I've always been very good at letting the stress, fade away.
Yep.
Which is why a lot of people hate me. But I just say, let them hate me.
Yes. Let that be their burden.
Very wise. Let them get cancer.
Getting quite jealous here. Alan? Alan? Tomorrow, Alan will be asking you to join his campaign against the £1 deposit for supermarket trolleys. Alan's three solutions are abolish, chip and pin, or retina scan. Quick.
Oh, sorry. I was having a dream. Sorry about that. I was just dreaming I was walking along the Appalachian Trail. I got caught in a thunderstorm and we had to find shelter in an abandoned log cabin.
So who are you walking with?
Just me. Just me and Julia Bradbury. We've been contacted by a spokesperson for Noel Edmonds who's asked us to point out that Mr. Edmonds has been a successful broadcaster for almost 5 decades. Noel's House Party, 50 million viewers. Successful businessman, formats sold in 80 countries. It's basically just a list of his achievements. I do have to read this. Any views expressed about Noel Edmonds were those of Alan Partridge and not the station. Yep, totally agree with that. Hope no offence was caused and we wish him well. Again, that's the station's view, not mine. I don't particularly mind if I caused him a small amount of offence. And whilst I don't wish him ill, I don't particularly want him to find any peace, if I'm honest. Now, though, a chill-out compilation I found at a car boot sale. It's fantastic. This is Glockenspiel Dreams. Father Paul, just in case anyone thinks I'm trying to lure you into breaking some sort of vow of silence by asking you a question, you can speak, can't you, Father?
Well, I wouldn't be much of a spokesman if I never spoke.
Catty! I like that. I like that. Why is it that monks love silence so much?
We all need silence, and it's harder to find in the modern world.
Yes, what one thinks is silence is often not, because you listen a little harder, you can hear the beep of a truck reversing, or in the still of the night, what one thinks is a neighbour's baby crying, but in actual fact it's two foxes making love with one another.
I suppose the only place one can find true silence would be outer space.
Hence the phrase, in space, no one can hear you scream.
From Alien.
Yes, I remember when I first saw that, I thought, finally, a movie that acknowledges the fact that sound cannot travel through a vacuum. I bet you guys would love a vacuum.
It'd save the brothers having to sweep the floor.
There's that cattiness again. I mean, you're clearly a character. You definitely are.
From a Christian perspective, silence is a way of forming a deeper bond with God.
Although some young Christians use noise in much the same way that sirens of Greek mythology would lure unsuspecting sailors onto the rocks, the young Christians will sing hymns whilst banging a tambourine, and in the confusion, you end up believing in God.
Well, every individual has their own way of communing with God, but that's not to say that silence is purely religious. I mean, it can work wonders for your mental well-being. Why don't we try it right now? 1 minute.
Okay. The footage you're watching has been sped up. Current BBC programming guidelines prohibit on-air silences over 30 seconds in duration, except for state funerals like Diana's or Springwatch. While greater flexibility is permitted for BBC's 2 and 4, BBC One viewers are thought to benefit from content with frequent noises. There's your minute. Life as a monk begins at sunrise. As we quietly dwelt on our relationship with the Lord, it occurred to me that God, all-knowing, invisible, and all around us, is identical to high-speed Wi-Fi, which I know for a fact that they have at the monastery. I wondered what these men might have been before they found God. Can you read a man's story in his face? I believe you can. If I had to guess, I'd say this monk was quite high up in ICI. This monk also worked for ICI, but in a more junior role. I don't have any ideas about this monk. And this monk briefly joined the band D-Ream after Brian Cox left to become a scientist. I decided to stroll the grounds and soon found myself walking like a monk, hands behind my back, nodding at passers-by, a smile as my resting face. But smiling constantly starts to make your face ache. I wondered if it felt the same for Holly Willoughby. Although the Bible doesn't mention potted plants, monks absolutely love them. But when I lent a hand, I began to see a very different side to these brothers. You see, silence can be a kindness. It can show courtesy to a fellow clay pigeon shooter. But anyone who's driven home with their wife after a row at a party will know that silence can be used as a weapon. Could the monks have been doing the same? It amused me to imagine I was in an institute full of angry wives in big brown dresses. But the more they pretended not to see me, the more I wondered if it was intentional. And when a sprightly monk snatched my pot, I became convinced they were trying to break me. Perhaps they were tapping Morse code messages to each other on plant pots, like, "Why isn't this new man wearing brown?" Let's pick on him till he either cries or cuts his hand.
Malky's story.
I sold my wee boy's toys to pay for drugs.
Malky flogged Lego for half a p a piece. Skag's his poison.
Janie's story.
I live rough on the streets of Norwich.
Janie used to be a teacher. Now she's a bum with booze in her veins.
Tristram's story.
I started taking coke when I first became a hedge fund manager.
Tristram missed out on his bonus last year. His dreams of a bigger house in tatters.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you, Alan.
Thanks, Al, for putting your hands across Norfolk.
Bananas and cream. I can't beat it. OK, you're listening to Mid-Morning Matters. Today we're raising £3,000 or £3,000 for Norwich-based charity Addiction Action. Got some banana in my mouth.
Swallow.
OK, Simon, what's the tot up?
Well, we're looking good. We are already at £610 English pounds.
Put that in context for any listening addicts.
Yep, that is roughly 150 pints of lager or 8 grams of coke.
And in terms of heroin?
Just checking, I've asked one of the cleaners.
The Scottish guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. And hey, what a great bunch of listeners. I mean, I think I stepped on a hornet's nest last year when I suggested Norwich was ready for a Blacktown crier, but you cannot fault their generosity. OK, online now we have an addict who wishes to remain anonymous, so we've disguised their voice. Hello, caller. What's your story?
I'm addicted to gambling.
The sound guy said it'd be fine.
I'm up to my eyes in debt. My marriage is in bits. I've lost my job selling wool in the market. Sorry, I'm getting quite emotional.
It's all right, mate. Take your time. So your wife had left you?
My husband. I'm a woman.
Of course. Sorry. Yes, of course. Men don't sell wool. Listen, love, I think we're going to have to cut this short. The voice distorter's bending your gender. It's also making you sound like a villain from a faraway galaxy. Could you simply say, soon your planet will be mine?
Soon your planet will be mine.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to leave it there. OK. Wait till he's right behind your shoulder, and then, feign fear if it helps. And then, if you feel the back of your arm, just the little knobbly bone there, if he's right up behind you, just into his ribs, into his ribs, and then bang, back of the hand and bust his nose. I know when you were fooling around in the kitchen with Jez before, it was just a bit of tomfoolery, but I just thought when I saw you doing this and this, I just thought we got to talk. Anyway, that's it. It's 12:30 and we're joined by Derek Bosworth, who's here to tell us all about handheld, bellows-driven reed instruments. Sounds like a real wheeze. Before that, some pledges on the texts.
We do have some pledges. Jed from Ipswich says he has a 10-year-old Mondeo 1.8. He wants 500 quid and will give 50 to the appeal.
OK, Phil in Glanford says, leave Porsche drivers with red faces with my tweaked VW Golf. Reluctant sale due to baby. He wants 10 grand cash with 60 for charity.
And one here from Dennis in Feltwell. 2012 Lexus GS. First to see will buy, no time wasters.
Right, and what's the donation?
I don't think he said.
OK. Time for the weather.
Weather update.
They're taking the piss.
And here is the woman herself to tell us more about her new series that shines a light on women in science. It's writer and broadcaster Dee Gilhooly.
Just to clarify, by the way, some viewers may mistakenly think that your second name is Hooley and your first name is Deagle. In actual fact, your second name is Gilhooly, your first name is Dee. That's a full name, not an initial.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Wicked to be here.
Cool.
So you're perhaps best known as one of the regulars on Radio 4's Woman's Hour.
Which, by the way, guys, well worth a listen.
Oh, I wouldn't have had you down as a fan, Alan.
Well, it's a curious story. I was actually stuck in traffic and Classic FM were playing music from an advert which I dislike. So I found myself listening to Woman's Hour and I thought, this is actually good.
Tell your friends.
I did. I told 10 men and they will tell 10 men and they will tell 10 men to tell 10 men to tell 10 men. It sounds like the kind of song you'd sing on a coach trip, but it's actually true.
Now, your radio series focuses on trailblazers and groundbreakers in the field of science.
Bang on, yeah. It's a chance for some brilliant, lesser-known women to have their stories told, you know what I mean? So, with all due respect to your Ada Lovelaces or Rosalind Franklins, we're going to be looking at women under the bonnet, as it were, the fuel in the turbocharger.
Because there's some fascinating women here. We're talking Vera Rubin, Nettie Stevens, Cecilia Payne. I mean, brilliant women.
Oh, kick-ass women. Yeah, Cecilia Payne's actually is an amazing story. A British astronomer, got her doctorate at 25, boom. And she wrote a paper on the composition of the stars, but was persuaded not to publish it by her colleague Henry Norris Russell. Years later, her findings were published and credited to, you've guessed it,
Henry Norris Russell?
Bingo. You still with us, Alan?
Yeah. See, I'm sorry to... Actually, it makes me physically sick to say this, but I was miles away. Which shows this is a real problem within men, isn't it? What I will say, the purposes of clarification, is you don't put fuel in a turbocharger. It's a small turbine housed within the exhaust that utilises excess gases, loops them back round, increases power output. So small capacity engine, big hike in power, very efficient. That was told to me by an engineer in oily overalls called Karen. Woman.
Fair play. Yeah. Well, because women in jobs like that have to put up with their fair share of jeering, you know, even now in 2018, and they just have to accept it.
If I can just speak as a male, I'm sorry, I have sinned. I've stood on the pavement with other men and slow hand clapped as I watched a woman try to parallel park. And that's wrong. And I think if I saw the same thing happen today, I would just, shout out instructions.
Or just leave her alone.
Yeah, I'd shout out instructions or just leave her alone. I'd ask her which she prefers.
Or just leave her alone.
Or just leave her alone. Yeah.
These issues need to be aired by women. We're still seeing powerful men harassing women when all they want to do is do their jobs and be left alone.
Amen.
Hey, women. I mean, I feel you. I feel you. I don't mean I feel you. I wouldn't do that unless I was your doctor or your boyfriend. But I totally identify with what you're saying.
Well, I think the Me Too's a woman thing, really,
exactly.
isn't it? I mean, I'm not sure it's that helpful for a man to presume to know what that's like, to be honest, but anyway.
Of course it is.
Yes.
You know, if men actually listened to what women were saying on harassment, then they'd shut up and listen, but they don't. You know, so we're still seeing the same things time...
I've been sexually harassed.
I'm sorry, I wasn't aware.
It's not quite the same thing that women have been through, but it is a bit. Reverend, there is the rather lazy stereotype of a graveyard as being somewhere that we're familiar with from horror films, where a hand may emerge from a grave and grab the ankle of an innocent student on holiday.
Graveyards are places that are charged with meaning. I mean, I know your parents are both buried here.
Yeah, well, they died, so I buried them.
So, of course, their graves, and all the graves here, they are symbols of a life lived. A collection of memories.
Yeah.
And graves are keepers of stories untold.
Great name for an album, Keepers of Stories Untold. Can I ask you a question? If you were told quite forcefully to draw a soul, what form would it take, do you think? Be a bit quicker. If you don't speed it up, it'll hard.
Well, the soul is inside us.
I always imagine a soul, strangely, to be like a badly poached egg, so that the yolk, the centre, is intact, but the albumen, the outer soul, if you like, is long and stringy. Another way of looking at it is a very small ballerina with a large lace cloak. Similar thing. Those are two good ones. Do you have any?
I don't know that it's enormously helpful to dwell on the physical.
I agree. I don't dwell on it. I just talk about it sometimes. But it is a lovely, very well-maintained graveyard.
Well, I think it's important that we do keep it well-maintained. I mean, of course, you know, it's important that the graveyard doesn't become
quicker.
Some kind of shrine for people that have passed on.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think a cemetery should be a place of quiet reflection, you know, away from all the hustle and bustle, a haven of tranquility.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Alan.
Okay. Can we tighten that up? Yeah.
Now, this one, it's called White Diamond. Perhaps another one of Kirsty Allsop's bridesmaids.
Did you have a drink before you came on?
It's champagne, lime cordial, big slug of Cointreau, white grape juice, and egg white.
Like poached egg?
Oh, no, it's raw.
For God's sake, Rosie.
What?
You can't eat raw egg. It's a raw egg,
No,
Rosie.
it's a common ingredient.
Sorry, just a disclaimer, please don't try this at home. Rosie's attempted it here, but in controlled conditions with first aiders on hand. Please cook your eggs. Be safe. Be egg safe.
Rosie, let me pick your brain, because me and my mum, we always go to Queen's for the tennis.
Like this one.
The first cocktail afternoon of the summer. What would you make for that?
It'd have to be a rosemary champagne fizz. So gin, grapefruit and champagne. It's English, it's fun, it's summer.
Those are the new cocktails, but what about the classics? Rosie, what do you think is the most popular cocktail in Britain?
Espresso martini.
Alan, what do you think?
Mine's gone blank. Shandy.
Well, we hit the streets of Nottingham to find out which came out on top.
And we're off.
That was great. Oh, really, it's okay.
Smells of stuffing. Oh, it's you.
Just to say, I've looked into the annual report, and it turns out Jenny earns slightly more than you.
OK. Okay.
It's to do with the way the deal is structured. It's an accounting quirk.
Okay.
It's only about £200, but it just means she's higher than you in the list of the BBC's best paid presenters.
Okay, okay.
Are you okay?
Okay. Okay, I'm okay, okay.
So you're in a bit of a pickle. You want more, but you don't want to complain because women have got a bit big for their boots.
Yeah, all right, Lynn, that's for the car, but thanks for the intel. Have a white sparkle.
Okay, places, people.
You like egg, don't you?
And we're back in 5, 4.
So there we have it. The Mojito is Britain's favourite cocktail. And Rosie, you're making us one to end the show.
I am. Now, the secret to a good mojito is not to overdo the mint. So, it's lime juice, sugar, a little mint, they're already in the shaker.
Go on, make it then.
And, yes, a handful of ice and a good slug of rum.
Oh, I love rum.
And then you give it a good shake.
Stop looking at me.
Certainly gave that what for.
Would you like to have a go,
No,
Alan?
not me. I never know where to look when I do that sort of thing. It requires a certain kind of confidence that, for whatever reason, I don't have. That's why I don't play the maracas. Give it here. All right.
Stiff.
It's loosening.
Very stiff.
Have you got it?
All right.
Okay. Take me, take it. I don't know why I did that.
Rosie, thank you very much for joining us. That was great.
It was great. It was really great. What are you doing with my jacket? Sorry for bollocking you before about the raw egg thing. But don't do that again.
Oh, and I believe Simon has an email. Simon.